2025 was an interesting year for a lot of people, including the two of us. A lot of things happened, a lot of things changed, and we've got some things to talk about today.
And one of the things that was so surprising for us is everything that we learned when we ran our masterclass last fall, and some of what people gave us feedback on really changed our minds about some things that we've been thinking about in this discovery phase.
It also solidified a lot of the things that we've been researching and investigating and talking about.
Yeah, and I know that as our retirement matures and we lean more heavily into the new language that we're using, the discovery years, retirement drift is a new word that we're using that has really helped people identify what's happening to them when they lose their identity, when they don't have any purpose, when they start to feel lonely and they lose all their friends and they can't figure out how to fill their day. They realize now this word retirement drift is exactly what they're struggling from. And in our masterclass, we took people through the 7 pillars, and gosh, it had such an impact on what they did. And the first thing that we found, common ground from everyone that was in there, was this, which is surprising. They wanted a little more structure back in their life.
They didn't want it on day one. That wasn't their day one. That wasn't their day one thought. That was the culmination of the 8 weeks, I feel.
Nobody.
Because they all resisted on day one when we started talking about structure, which we learned, is a slow build for adult learners, right? To get them to come to it in their own way, on their own terms, in their own time.
Yeah, I mean, we could spend an entire hour talking about this idea of structure, and I think we should lead with it because we were really surprised that that was the number one thing that people said they needed. And we get comments all the time on our channel. People say, I don't want structure anymore. I had structure and all. I just want to do what I want to do. The thing is, you wake up many times, and if you don't have any kind of plan, and there's another word that people don't like, is that they don't want to have to plan this phase of life. And listen, whoever's watching this and they're listening to us and are thinking these two are nuts and crazy, that's fine. This isn't for everybody. 100%. Some people want to go through this phase of life the way they want to go through it, and that's fine, right?
But
we can't convert everyone. We can't tell everyone this is the way to do it. But what we can do is tell them when there's a little structure in your life, your satisfaction will increase. Your health will get better. Your relationships will get better because you're putting some structure in your day.
And I do think we have to back up a little bit because the word structure has a lot of connotations around it, not all of them positive, especially if you come from, a framework or a corporate background or a business background or a job background that was fully structured all the time.
Yeah, you have a much better word.
That's the structure that everyone is thinking we're trying to vend to them. And really, this first point, what did 2025 teach us? Well, one of the things was everyone has a rhythm in life, and there's a different rhythm for everyone, and that's called your discovery years.
Right.
It's the rhythm that you fall into that is healthy and it creates vitality in your mental and physical. It creates relationships. It creates a buzz. It gives you energy, all the things. So I think when we lead with it, we need to lead with it as rhythm.
Yeah.
Because rhythm allows you to determine the beat, determine the pace, determine the cadence, and you are in charge. Structure implies Mark and Jody are going to tell you what to do in the morning, and this is what you have to do to be successful. And that's not what we're doing.
No, but there are some basic things that help. And what
you go right back to structure.
No, I'm not. But I think that what happened was, and we were surprised at this, we never in that masterclass, and it was 8 weeks, 90 minutes each week. I think there were 40 worksheets. There was a lot of thinking that people did. There wasn't one session on structure. It was the 7 pillars: vitality and health, relationships, spouse-partner relationship. There was the 7 pillars. Spirituality. Yep. We never talked about structure. However, we talked a lot about habits, bringing some new routines into your life, and slowing down, eliminating laying in bed in the morning and scrolling. deciding to get out of bed right away and have 12 ounces of water that we both do. That wasn't something we said you have to do, but everyone in the master class started getting up at the same time.
And that's not 5 a.m. for everyone.
Whatever time, the same time that's good for them.
Right.
They started going to bed at the same time that was good for them. They started preparing for bed ahead of time without scrolling or watching TV or eating right before they went to bed. And in the morning, they started to build this routine or rhythm that helped put them in a place that by 9 o'clock in the morning, they had done some basic things to set themselves up for success for the day. Maybe they went to the gym. Maybe they called a friend. Maybe they journaled a little bit. Maybe they wrote a little bit about their book. But they all had some kind of formal, regular routine that they did in the morning. And they also eliminated some of the bad habits that they had, like turning the TV on first thing and watching news for 2 hours.
Yeah, I think what 2025 and going through the masterclass taught me was, the words actually matter to adults, and structure, routine, habits, they come with connotations of other phases of people's life. Right. And, I choose things like, moving on to even our next point, you're not going to find yourself in retirement. You're going to build yourself in retirement. Just the change of the word find to build should empower all of us to know we've got a shot to build the new you, or the enhanced you, or the better you in retirement. So I think there's a nuance to it because of the words, but the words matter.
So we've been at this for 8 years, this retirement transformation, working on this, the YouTube channel. We have courses, we have the masterclass.
And our trajectory hasn't always been this way.
No, and we're going to run the masterclass again next February, right? So make sure that, want to make sure that you're on our email list. So that we're going to do some email promotion of that, I guess, because people are probably going to ask, when's your next masterclass?
Right.
But I think that I lost my thread, but I wanted to say that
we've been on the journey for 8 years.
Yeah, and the point was finding yourself. That's what I got lost.
Building yourself.
Building yourself. Wouldn't you say that we're still building?
Oh, yeah.
And evolving?
Well, that's
changing.
That's the really cool thing about the word building.
Right.
It doesn't ever have to be completely built.
Right.
Finding, once you find it, it's found.
Yeah.
Right? Building is something that suggests progress and motion and change and acceptance and rhythm and
experimenting and failing and trying things that didn't work out that well.
Yes.
But really taken these discovery years and taking part of your time to try to build who you want to become. And honestly, I believe that will go till the last day.
Yeah, no, I agree.
We will always be learning and building.
We need to embrace that, physically and emotionally as we build for what the real flex is in retirement, is building the new you in retirement and modeling that for future generations and our peers and our elders and the whole circle, the multi-generational circle.
Yeah. By the way, in the notes below, there's a link to 6 steps to kickstart your retirement transformation. If you haven't downloaded that before, or you're new to the channel, please download that so that you get on our email list as well. We do a nice light weekly email, and you'll learn more about some of the upcoming masterclass and the membership program we're starting. So download that now. All right, so the next thing we want to talk about is this idea that last year we learned this, that people are saying, well, I'm going to spend a year or 2 or 3 just doing some things I want to do. I don't really want to put a lot of effort into my retirement, and I'm just going to wait until I'm ready.
Right.
And many people that were in our masterclass said they've been retired for 5 years and feel like they wasted that whole time.
Yeah.
When their eyes opened up to the 7 pillars and what we talked about, and putting a little rhythm into their life and learning and realizing this is a phase to discover themselves, are like, oh my gosh, I can't believe if I hadn't taken this course, I'd still be drifting and waiting and wondering when would be a good time to really think about living this phase differently.
So I think the idea of being ready to retire is that everyone wants retirement to be their decision, right? They don't want to be retired, to be forced to retire, or to be retired out of an organization before they're ready. So the readiness is a power move, right? Okay. I need to be ready to retire. I need it to be my decision and ready. Fact of the matter is, God willing, I hope that happens for as many people as possible, but it just doesn't always happen that way. You sometimes are retired or downsized or squeezed out, use whatever word you want. So this idea of being ready is a success script that we bring from our past, from either our jobs or our corporate life or wherever you came from, because, we always needed to be ready for the next job or ready for the promotion or ready for the new project. And ready became kind of this anchor that we kind of, built around. And in retirement, the question you need to ask is, are you ready to work on yourself? Are you ready to build the new you? Are you ready to discover things about yourself that you like? Some things about yourself you might not like. Are you ready to reflect on your habits? Are you ready to let some friendships go and build new ones? Are you ready to move? I mean, ready, if you take ready and put it in every aspect of retirement, I'm not sure anyone would answer 100% yes on the ready card.
Well, it's one of the things that holds so many people back from entering this phase too late, number one, or totally unprepared, because there is no real preparation out there.
Right. There's no benchmark to jump that said, I now jump 12 inches high, I'm ready.
No, what we are doing with this business, there are only a few other businesses like this coaching people in this retirement phase. Again, we're changing our branding a little bit, but there actually is a retirement coaches association that we're
very
close
good.
to. Good bunch of people. And that's run by
Robert Laura.
Yep. And they are professional coaches that help people enter this phase. But it's just a new, I don't want to call it a business. It's new language that is being talked about. And we truly believe that businesses should make this part of their annual exit strategy for employees, anyone that reaches retirement age. And there's, we have courses now and all of that, but that way people know, okay, now I know what retirement could look like. It could be a lot different. It's not as scary as I thought.
Right.
It's actually an opportunity to grow again and to try new things and to maybe even get a job, even maybe stay where I am now and work 10 hours a week instead of 40, 50, or 60, or mentor somebody.
Or try something completely new. We had a woman in our master class who is absolutely phenomenal, absolutely brilliant, built a business her whole life, and very successful business. And when she was ready to let it go, and she was an owner, obviously, of the business, and we started talking to her about different, for example, nonprofits that could use her skills in accounting and finance. And she just kept shaking her head like, you guys don't get it. I don't want to do any of that anymore. I was boxed in for 40 years. I want to do something completely different. And she has sourced 4 or 5 other, I won't call them jobs, I would, activities that are completely different than finance. And she's flourishing. And a couple of them, she's like, I'm terrible at this. Like, I'm not sure if this is going to stick, but I'm trying it, which is great.
We just see so many people that enter this phase and they just don't know what to do. They start off lost and they stay lost. And it doesn't have to be that way, which is why we're working so hard to get the word out. The next thing we want to talk about is money confidence. If people are confident with the money they have enough, they have a planner, or they've got a plan, they have a pension, they have Social Security, their income equals or is greater than their expenses, that's great. But that doesn't mean you have confidence in your life. That just means you can survive and you can still put food on the table and all of that. But there's so much more to this phase of life than just having enough money.
Well, I mean, think back on the age-old tale of Ebenezer Scrooge, right? So here he is, fat, dumb, and happy, running his little I don't know whether it was a legal firm or an accounting firm. I don't remember what it was, an accountant. And he had all the money, but he had no people. He had no life. He had no interest. He had no kind heart. Like so money confidence is not going to give you life or lifestyle confidence. When you enter this phase and you get into the discovery years, you are soon to realize stuff and things don't bring more happiness or more confidence. The faster car, the newer home, the bigger boat, the better set of golf clubs. I do like a good golf ball because I think it's going to help me, but doesn't really do it. But the things that bring you the confidence are the things that tie to your value system and things that matter to you. The love and kindness, the serving others, the relationship building, the caring for elderly parents or younger kids or grandkids. So, I think that this idea that money confidence will give you lifetime confidence, certainly gives you the ability to do things that if you didn't have money, you couldn't do. Yeah. But from a confidence standpoint in lifestyle, I don't think it weighs out.
And it goes right back down to the core pillar that we speak about all the time, which is vitality and health. And that's really making sure that you're spending effort and time in making your body healthier. You get one body and you get one crack at it, and that's it.
Right.
And if you're slowly fading into drinking a little bit too much, eating poorly.
Which is easy to do.
Sure it is.
Because you're time affluent.
Yeah.
And, where does everybody want to fill their time? Well, do you want to meet for happy hour?
And if you haven't exercised in 3 years, it is so hard to start that process.
Right.
But we both know, based upon what happened last year and the people in our masterclass, that they all started exercising. They all started walking.
Right.
They all started finding newfound energy that they never had before.
Right. Right.
So it really is, and that doesn't take money.
And then once you start, it's harder to stop than it was to actually start to begin with.
Well, there's that study that was done at London University where they took people to figure out what's the average number of days it takes people to bring a new habit into their life, whereby once they do it long enough, it's harder to stop than it is to do. And it was 66 days.
On average.
On average. Some people you could just a new habit in a day. Right. Some people took a year, but on average. So that means if you're an average person and you start walking every day for 20 minutes, on day 67, it's harder to not walk than it is to walk.
I need to remember that mantra for my pop when I talk to him today.
Yeah, I mean, you just have...
But it's freezing where he is, so I do kind of feel for him.
But it's very hard for us
Pop.
It's very hard for us to not go to the gym.
Right.
At this point, it really is. All right, the next thing was retirement doesn't slow aging. And I think that people need to realize that. You're going to continue to age. But you can do a lot of things about aging healthier than just accepting the fact that I'm getting old. It's harder for me to get up and out of a chair. I don't like climbing the stairs. Right. Let's buy a condo with one floor. I don't really want to walk up and down the stairs. That's really a bad thinking and strategy in this phase of life.
Well, the one thing that I would say, and I don't know, maybe this is just a woman's thing, although I have seen some new moisturizers on your side of the bathroom as well. Retirement does give you time to take a look at marketing that is towards the aging population, which a lot of marketing is now towards people 65 and older, because there's 10,000 of us every day turning 65 or older. And you can get sucked into serums and vitamin C and what's the new one? Beef talon, beef fat that you rub on your face that has some honey and some.
Wait. Are you doing that?
I don't have it, but I'm marketed it to me all the time.
Beef fat on your face.
Beef fat on your face.
So you're going to smell like a raw hamburger.
Oh my gosh, imagine if I woke up and Ruby was like licking my face in the middle of the night. But like skincare and, aging creams and everything is anti-aging. Everything that gets marketed to me these days is about anti-aging or dress for your, age or update your wardrobe. And, you have to be careful because you can become in this idea that now I'm retired, I want to kind of move the clock backwards. You can get hooked on some of these marketing schemes. I mean, you've seen me in how many different face masks?
Well, a lot. So, but what you're doing is not the cure for aging, but just because you're retired doesn't mean you're going to age.
Right.
You're going to age faster and quicker if there's lack of attention to this, lack of interest in working on how you feel, what you eat, how you hydrate,
right.
what your weight is.
Right.
All of that takes intention.
It does.
So if you're retired and you put zero intention towards that,
you're going to age quick.
You're going to age much quicker.
Absolutely.
And you're going to get sick and you're going to have really bad.
100%.
Your last 10 years on this planet will be really bad if you don't spend the time now preparing yourself for that. Eating right, building muscle, going to the gym, exercising.
I had an interesting conversation with the youngest of our 6 children who said to me, if you were to think back over your health and let's just say your skincare over time, what would you have changed if you were my age, 28? What would you have changed and implemented then? What did you neglect? Because I was always wash your face at night, put on some lotion. You see me in the morning. I'm always putting lotion on, trying to keep my skin so it's not dry, all the things. And I said to her, Jordan, I'll be honest with you. I did okay on the face, the eyes, the creams, maybe an occasional mask. As you age, especially as a woman, but I'm looking at your neck too. Your neck really starts to show how old you are.
How old am I?
The creepy neck, my mom used to call it. I would buy my mom a necklace for her birthday and she'd be like, oh my God, I can't wear that. It gives me creepy neck. Like if it was too and I said to Jordan, I would remember that you need to hydrate, not just your chest and your arms, because I was always good at all that in my face. I literally missed this entire part of my body while I was growing up.
Yeah.
And now I kind of regret it. I don't know. How do you feel about your neck?
I'm going to start wearing turtlenecks.
If we live in Florida, it's not going to work.
I'll wear a light turtleneck.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't care as much about it as other people do.
Yeah.
I have huge bags under my eyes. I have sunspots when I was a kid. I have droopy eyelids. I really should get surgery, but I don't want to because I'm not a big fan of getting cut for no reason. But my doctor's telling me that it's getting bad now where my eyelids are actually hanging. And I really should get it looked at.
And you have such pretty eyes.
Oh, thank you. But my eyelids, and my mother had that too. She just had, her eyes were half shut all the time because the skin was so heavy. But anyway, the other thing that we found out last year through the masterclass and other people is that when you were in your career, it was a really great container for relationships because you went there in the morning and you had all your friends. It felt like it was your work family. We all use that saying, your work family. And it could be decades. I still am friends with some people that I worked with 30 years ago. I stay in touch with them, but it's not like going in every day and seeing them. So when you step away and you enter in your discovery years, that container stays back at work.
Yeah.
It doesn't come with you.
Well, it was almost like all the years that you went to school, right? School, then college, then work. There was this environment where people existed for the same reason.
Right.
So in grade school, middle school, high school, or maybe grade school, middle school, you had class and then you had PE or you had free time in the playground or whatever. And everybody was there to play and have fun. And in class, you were there to do that. In college, you may have been, because you went to Penn State, you were like, we are Penn State or whatever your saying was, you were all kind of rallied around that. Then you get to work and you're all rallied around a mission, goals, benchmarks, corporate, structures. And so you had so much in common with those people just by the mere fact that you were all hired, that you were all thrown into one place. In retirement, unless you say, I am going to put myself in places where people are that I can have that same community already baked for me, whether that's a faith-based organization or a sport, a golf, a pickleball, whether that's a gardening club, a book club, a Bible study, whatever your community is, If you don't seek for that, then you are out trying to find one-off relationships on your own or reconnect with people who may still be in that, that box where they already have people that they, you no longer have a lot in common with them. It was kind of a situational friendship. So it's incumbent upon us to plan and put ourselves and push. And again, it's part of the building process.
It's part of the building, and it takes effort. It takes intention. It takes courage. It takes creativity. It takes being okay with failure, because it's not always going to work. But if you decide you want to learn how to play golf, or you're an average golfer and now you have more time, you want to go to play golf, if you're going solely for you to work on your golf game and the other 3 people that are in the group don't matter to you, you're not going to build a community to replace the one at work. You've got to go into this with eyes wide open and your heart open and accept some of these people with their flaws, because it's not going to be perfect. You're not going to like everybody. Right. But you're still going to start to meet people where if you go into the golf group, 3 weeks in a row and then you don't show up for 2 weeks and then you go back and they go, "Are you okay? Where were you?" Or someone calls you. Like my gym community right now is probably my best community that I have outside of our family unit and others, because they care about me. They ask me questions. They want to know how our kids are doing. They want to know how I'm feeling. They want to know why I skipped gym. Am I going to be around next week? Right. Are you traveling again? These are real, and they're all young. Most of them are younger, but it's a group of people that care about me. Right. And I think that's what everybody needs and wants at this phase of life.
I agree.
The other thing we learned is that on planning, the best plans we can make evolve. We don't lock them in. And I think that people in the masterclass realize that too. We talk about evolving in this phase and learning and growing and all of that. You can't get to a point where you say, okay, this is what I'm going to do, and then don't have the flexibility to change and adapt and try something new again. If you get locked into some tight little routine 5 days a week and you're not willing to deviate or ever try anything new, I think you're going to have a problem. Why are you staring at me like that?
Because
are you about to come at me?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm thinking of a thoughtful way to ask this question.
Oh, you're going to ask me a question?
Yeah.
About
So
this.
This idea of being locked into a plan and locked into a routine. Do you feel that you're locked into a plan and a routine on a daily, weekly, monthly basis?
I am locked into a really tight, very tight, super tight,
amazingly tight
ritual in the morning.
Right.
And I'm locked in, but I also take some things out and put some new things in. 2 years ago, I never read scripture.
Right.
And I would think,
I agree with that.
I would think, I can't bring scripture in because I get up and I journal, I drink my water,
and read the news.
I go to the gym, I read the news, I catch up on emails, I do all of this stuff, very busy, very, very busy. And then I go to the gym, then I come back. It's fluid. My morning ritual is fluid, and my life is fluid. I mean, I ebb and flow on golf, I ebb and flow on lots of things. So I think the point is, it's almost like in my career, I kept trying to grow. I think you need to be able to grow in this phase of life and not say, I do this on Monday, this on Tuesday, this on Wednesday, this on Thursday, this on Friday. I don't have any time for anything new.
So let me ask you a question, though. Isn't that a great place for people to start?
Where?
Locking things down in their calendar to start before they become super fluid, amazingly fluid, super flexible.
Yes.
So I would say for people who are struggling with structure or routine or habits, that locking a few things down to see how it feels, when then you find your rhythm, then you can move things around and be a little bit more fluid.
100%.
I know, different than you, I don't miss my ladies' golf I don't miss my Bible study on Tuesdays. and I don't miss my ladies' golf on Wednesday. Like, pretty much try really hard not to miss. I mean, for example, last Wednesday, it was freezing cold in Florida. I had 5 layers up top. There were only 2 foursomes that ventured out to play, but I was one of those 8 ladies, and I never took a layer off. And I was like, it's our ladies' golf day. We have to stick to this. So I do think that it's important to try to anchor things down, to find purpose, to build purpose. So building purpose by anchoring things down, and then building rhythm where it can ebb and flow.
I think the point is you've got to be okay being a little fluid and not so rigid with the things that you do lock in, and be open to trying new things. I'm always looking for something different to do in the morning during my ritual, something different to read.
Like handstands?
Handstands would be great. I'm pulling away from the news. I know. Don't enjoy as much as I used to reading business news or whatever the news is online, because it's frankly turned into, it's not news, it's people's opinions of what's happening. And there's just such controversy in it that it's easier for me. You know, we both have 2 newsletters. I keep trying new newsletters. The one we love the most is Axios.
Right.
It comes twice a day. But I found this other one called 1440 and this other one called Nice News. It's just nice news, which is it's interesting articles from around the world about nice things that are going on.
Yeah.
But that feels better to read that than some of the more controversial stuff where there's just yelling.
Albeit not putting your head in the stand, not understanding what's actually happening.
No, Axios does that. 1440 does that.
Right. But I mean, there is a juxtaposition of not wanting to get involved in the rhetoric, but also fiercely trying to understand what's actually happening.
But again, my morning ritual used to be the Wall Street Journal, New York Times.
Right.
There's no way I'm ever going to stop reading those. I don't read them anymore.
Yeah, right. No, I get it.
So I think the point is not feeling like, a lot of people in our masterclass said, wow, it's okay to start changing. It's okay to do things differently and not how I used to do it.
Right.
All right. Let's look at some of the questions our team put together.
Okay.
All right. First one. Okay. This was from a video. 8 purchases retirees say changed everything. And this is Allison Arthurs. My partner used to use an eye mask until he needed a CPAP. That's me. But now he can't figure out how to wear the eye mask comfortably with a CPAP mask.
Oh, I could take a picture of you.
How do you work that out? Okay. It's not easy.
But you put the CPAP on first and then the eye mask over top.
Yeah, I look like Darth Vader. And you know what?
Super sexy.
It's not easy. No,
it isn't.
We both put in earplugs. I have this awful machine that I have to put on for sleep apnea. And sometimes, you know what? I say to you,
I can't do it tonight.
I'm going to go in the other room. I'm not putting a mask on. Because if I don't wear it, I'm going to snore like crazy.
Right.
So to answer your question, it's not easy. But
it's not easy being green.
But you can see the picture that Kevin put up. Okay. This is from 22 Raw. This is a question.
Okay.
Do either of you have aging parents you need to help care for in any way? Just curious, as that's what has any of my future plans on hold.
Yeah.
So we've been through that. I mean, both of my parents are gone 10 years ago almost. And
both of my parents are gone, but I still have my pop. And
you do.
And I have left our home for 5 days, 7 days, 10 days if I need to. When he had open heart surgery, he had his double knee replacement.
He's surrounded by his kids up there, so it's a little easier.
He is. He's surrounded by 2 of his kids and me, basically.
Yeah,
so he is, and I'm his stepdaughter and the oldest of the girls that are helping out. And my stepsisters are amazing with what they do with and for him, but every once in a while they need help too.
Right.
So yeah, it's. I
remember when we were in it, it was hard.
Yes.
My mom had dementia. My dad was an alcoholic. They were both in the same senior living facility, and it was hard. I mean, it really pulled at us.
Right.
And the kids were still younger. They were in college and high school, and it's that sandwich generation component is hard.
It is very hard.
22 raw. Yeah, it's a hard process to be in.
Absolutely.
Okay. This is Susie Q.
Okay.
Question from Susie Q. How about sharing some of your healthy eating recipes for retirees? You might have already done that, but I'm somewhat new to your channel. So we don't do cooking. We do on Instagram.
Yeah.
We'll post a video, but we just look up recipes. We use ChatGPT to try to create some recipes.
Mostly the Mediterranean diet recipes. We're pretty committed to Mediterranean way of eating for the most part. We're not 100% good at it all the time, but we do a lot of natural fats with like olives and olive oils and avocados. We do a lot of proteins with fish and chicken, more so than beef or pork. We do a lot of vegetables. We probably eat 5 to 7 servings of vegetables a day. And we really focus on our protein. How much protein are we taking in?
So here's my favorite go-to Mediterranean dish that's so easy to cook. Chicken thighs and chicken breasts.
Breasts for me, thighs for Mark.
In my cast iron skillet.
Yep.
So cook them through, maybe 20, 25 minutes. Take them out. Then we put in small little tomatoes. Blister them a little bit, squish them down with a spoon. Then we add in, we call this salad bar chicken. We add in the stuff from the salad bar, artichokes, those little peppers, olives,
mushrooms, chickpeas.
All of that stuff that you see in the salad bar with the oil, that goes in the pan. Let that heat up a little bit. Put the chicken back in. You have a meal.
Right.
It takes probably an hour.
Yep.
And it's less than an hour.
And I will tell you, who was it?
Susie Q.
Susie Q. One of the things I wanted for Christmas this year was a slow cooker. I know that sounds a little odd because we live in Florida and I'm 60 years old and I never had a slow cooker. So, but we got a slow cooker and I did the bottom of the slow cooker with onions and carrots and celery, and then added in some fresh spices, rosemary, thyme, basil leaf, and bay leaf. And then I did chicken breasts with paprika, onion powder, salt and pepper. And then I did stock, chicken stock, 2 cups of chicken stock, and put the lid on it. I added parsnips because it called for potatoes and I didn't want the potatoes. So I added parsnip, let it cook for 7 hours, and then pulled the chicken out and shredded it, put it back in for 30 minutes, and we had a chicken stew.
It was good. We're having it today for lunch.
And then we froze a bunch of it, so we always have something to eat. So I think, it's all about the ingredients and watching, how you're cooking it, what type of oils you're using. We do try to stay away from the seed oils.
I think what Susie Q wants, though, she wants you to do a video on your favorite recipe, and I'll film it. That's what I think she said.
I didn't hear that.
Okay. Hope you enjoyed this video. This next one, the retirement advice that people follow that keeps them stuck. Watch this one next to find ways to unstick yourself from an unfulfilling retirement.